Pool day.
Pool day. Hey, y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
I'm Jen.
Right before we started, pool day.
I was losing my tan.
I
I don't
know.
know how. We were on the lake or the creek all day Saturday.
Yeah.
I guess I put too much sunscreen on.
And you tan really well, but it like goes away really fast too.
I stay on it. It's a full-time job.
Full-time job. All right, well, welcome to the garden walk, garden tour, whatever you want to call it, but we are going to change it up a little bit and spice it up. We acknowledge that the garden walks, the excitement, we were losing it a little.
Yeah.
It wasn't like all of our other videos. It was like, here's this green plant, here's that green plant.
I didn't even like to watch it.
Here's a flower that's growing. So we're trying to do it a little bit more bits and pieces. We're going to try to not highlight every single plant that's in our garden. We're going to show you the changes and show you some of the little more snippets that maybe you would be more interested in. But your all's comments helped that out. We were feeling it. You all kind of confirmed it, so we appreciate that. Make sure when you see this one, the whole way through, which will be shorter, to comment down below and see if you liked how it was kind of set up a little different. But we have been really busy. We didn't do a garden walk last week, really because there wasn't much change. But now, a 2-week span, there's been a lot of change. So now you actually get to see fruit. We have a lot of stuff that is out, and we've actually already harvested a squash, our first one yesterday. We had a busy weekend doing all kinds of stuff, and now it's time to get garden ready.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Worked it out yet.
So to really spice up a garden walk, the very first thing we're going to show you is not garden related. It's new and we want to show you.
You like it up here?
The boys got a new home.
Yes. Hi, Rico.
Hi, Rico. Ah, you getting a little warmed up with us? So this is the spot. If you caught our video the other day when I said possibly a hay barn is going here, there's Jed's house. There's the chicken coop. Oh. You got the Charlie smell on you? But either way, whether we put a barn here or not, this is getting really tall and it's a beautiful little goat area. They got plenty of shade. It's over 200 foot. What's on your hand?
Pee.
Pee. Well,
He's recently peed on himself.
that's what the boys do.
Thank you, Charlie.
He said, you're welcome. But it's over 200 foot, and the reason I say that is because we actually got 160 foot fencing. They weren't 100, which was too small. It's fine if you're moving them often, but if we're doing more of a semi-permanent, you want more than 100 foot for a total of 4. So the reason it's more than 200 is because we actually hooked it to our whole line of fencing here. So it's not a complete circle. The dogs are going crazy outside. It's not a complete circle, so it's connected to it, so that actually gave them a little bit more, even more room. But they have already decimated it in less than a full day. But they're happy boys, and they're closer to it. Yeah, it's a lot easier right here by the house. Yeah. But now we just got to smell your stinky butt. All right, tater time. The reason we're here is because we were getting super close to harvesting. We just harvested our garlic, which was amazing, so exciting. Now, like, this is our next big thing, and we cannot wait. When you know when potatoes are ready is when the plants are, after they flowered, they start yellowing and dying back. That means the potatoes have completely grown, and we're getting there. Some are starting to yellow, but they do still look extremely healthy, as you can tell.
They still got some time.
Yeah, they still got some time. I would say probably, what, 2 or 3 more weeks?
Maybe a month.
Maybe a month. But they are starting to yellow. We're starting to get to that last hurrah for the potatoes. Yeah. And just a shot of the garden. Everything is so big and green now. It wasn't anywhere close to this 2 weeks ago.
I'm really shocked at how fast these bloomed and how many blooms they have, but they're so pretty. It's the Mexican love vine. They've attached to the fence too, and they're just beautiful.
So here is all of the zinnias, and we have several that are getting very close to blooming. And this bed is just going to be absolutely beautiful with the Mexican love vine, zinnias, and Ray Ray's beans. The tilled garden bed is getting big.
We picked our first squash.
We picked our first squash. So let's take a quick walk here. We've got zucchinis growing and all kinds of squash, and even our pumpkin vines are really starting to grow. Man, they're already getting big. I don't think we've ever truly acknowledged it, but we have some volunteer sunflowers that are just kind of popping up wherever they want to. There's some here and right there, and then just along the line here, there's another one kind of across the raised bed. So we're excited to see what they turn out to be.
Both herb beds are doing awesome. All this chamomile that I picked is coming back. The lemon balm is all coming back for the second time. We've already harvested it. And the other bed is growing so fast. Everything's doing really well. Look at all these tomatillos. There's probably like 200 on here. I don't know. This is probably one of the coolest things we've ever grown. It's our first time. And they pop up so quick and so many. I mean, there's like 10 on each little stalk. It's crazy. And they're not in there yet, but the husk are growing really big. So
Yeah, we have a couple that are getting close, that are starting to try to open the husk. That's when you kind of know that it's starting to fill out in there.
yeah, these are so cool. They're the fastest growers.
They really are.
And they're so strong.
Hi, Cat.
What are you doing?
And I'm not going to make us wait any longer. I know everybody's waiting for this moment. The actual zinnias that are bloomed. Oh, I'm in the shadow. Let me turn. Look at these beautiful zinnias. They are starting to bloom everywhere. We got polar bears. We got all kinds of different ones of it, but there's so many. So for the zinnias, what we'll do, and if you're a first-time zinnia grower, and really with most all flowers, don't hold me completely to that, but you want to cut and come with them, because when you cut them, that'll just make them be more prolific, even just like herbs. So get you a nice vase, put them on your table, enjoy the zinnias in your house, as long as outside of your house in your garden. But I promise, as much as it seems hard to cut them, you can, and they're going to come back even stronger.
Yeah.
It's our pepper bed. It's growing really, really fast and big. And look, we have cayennes that are coming in. We have, well, he was there. We had a yellow bell going, but I don't live no more. And right here, we have a bunch of little jalapenos that are coming up. And I think it's just really cool how you can see the different style of pepper plants, with some getting taller, some getting shorter and bushier.
I like the little squatty bushy ones.
I do too. I like them as
cute.
well. That's like a habanada, sunbright. This one's a sugar rush. So that's our little bushier ones, where the jalapenos and bells and cayennes are getting really nice and tall.
We also put sunflowers in the corner of this bed, which is coming up now really nicely. There's our Sugar Baby Rush watermelon. Is that right?
Not rush, I think it's
The Sugar Baby watermelons that are doing good. These are Kajari Melons over here that are going to grow up the cattle panel. They're doing really good. And another sunflower in the corner. I think he's the biggest.
Yeah. And look at all these tomatoes.
Oh, the tomatoes.
Every single one, for the most part, are now attached to our cattle panels, which are about, what would you say, 2 foot up?
Yeah.
2 foot up is where it starts. So we did have quite a few windstorms and storms that came in that really tested the limits, but they were doing great. And there are tomatoes everywhere.
We came out and tied them last night and clipped off a bunch of suckers, and they're doing really well.
Did a lot of fish fertilizing too.
Yep. So we actually fish fertilize on Sundays, Sunday evenings, and we neem-oil on Monday evenings, if you were wondering. We do both once a week and right after each other, and it does really wonders for the garden.
It does.
Not so much for the eggplant, but for everything else, the neem-oil is great, keeps the pest away, and the fish fertilizer makes everything grow so much quicker. Just you come out the next day and it's boom.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw someone ask on the Stivers tribe, can you mix your neem oil with your fertilizer? So the reason that we don't do that is because the neem oil needs to be all over your plant. The fertilizer needs to be at the base of your plant.
Right.
So if you're putting it in the fertilizer, you might help the dirt bugs, but it won't stop them from getting on your plants. And you don't want to put the fertilizer on your plants because it can burn them and stain them as well. So I would just keep them separate.
Yeah, it's time consuming, but it's worth it.
Very worth it. And here's just a couple. This is a pineapple tomato that's growing, but we got green tomatoes everywhere.
Most Improved Tomato Bed Award, actually any bed, goes to our cherry tomatoes and the Body Best. They were just little squatty things last week, and they have grown up into little teenagers.
They sure have, and they're full of fruit.
Yeah, and no issues, no leaf curl, no spottage, nothing. They're just getting really, really big.
Y'all listen real quick. Listen to all them birds. They're over there just having a ball doing something. Here's some of those blueberry cream cherry tomatoes, and you can see they're already starting to change the color. They're a little bit small because the plant was small when it produced it, but I think that might be our first ripe tomatoes, those little bad boys. Little garden snacks. And then to the most inconsistent bed. And as you can tell with the different sizes of our okra, most are pretty much the same size. Some are a little small like this guy. But then the award for the overachiever is this fella right here.
That's Grandpa.
That's Grandpa. He is so big and just ready to rock in this bed. And they will get very tall. If you've never grown okra, they're a huge plant and they'll produce all kinds of okra. Most of these are red style, like Jing Orange, I think, and then another one, Red Burgundy. But that's what's all in this bag. Drag. And the spot with the most changes will be our new tilled garden area. So last time you saw this, all you saw was the plants in the ground. I have added all of our trellising that we're gonna do for this, and we're gonna do a couple different varieties. So right here, these are two get stuffed tomatoes. They're actually just gonna climb up a T-post because I had them extra. These two right here, I actually made man-made cages for them to just let them bush and get big and see how it turns out. All I did was use some leftover fencing. It's this welded wire that we have like this. It's 4 foot tall. I just cut them, wrapped them in a circle, and then put them into the ground. So all you had to do, let me zoom you in here, is just clip right there at the bottom, and then that actually gives you like a stake for the ground. So that's why they're there, and I think they'll do really well. And then down these two lines, I added 1, 2, 3, 4 T-posts to each one. And then I just put fencing up like I would normal fencing, but a lot easier because you ain't gonna make it extremely tight. It just needs to be up there. But we've already tied a few of them onto this fence, and it seems to be working really, really well. We like it. We haven't had any bug issues, any bird issues, or anything that's over here trying to nibble on it. It is so easy to fall in love when your place looks like this, with the campground, hammocks. Oh, the kids got a new swing.
Yeah.
She's on.
So the kids aren't here to show you, so I might as well model it. It's really cool. Somebody sent it to them. They love it. They come out here and swing on it together. We cut it low to the ground and we put it on these 2 trees. But it's an awesome little swing for them.
Yeah, and it's a perfect addition because we got treehouse, mama hammock, swing, kid hammocks.
Yep.
It's just perfect all around the pond and the campground. Closer. Further away.
There we go.
Right here? Is this a good spot? Okay. This is where we settled in at. But that's the garden walk. Like that, quick, short snips, give you the good stuff, wait for next week for the other stuff to do something. Because that's kind of how we wanted to do it. We didn't want to just show you the same things over and over again. We wanted to show you the actual changes and hopefully keep your interest into it and want to know more.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We want you all to be interested so that you grow your own gardens. And most of you are, but some of you watch for the first time. You haven't started a garden yet, and we want to encourage you to do that. We don't want to bore you with it.
Right. We want to show how much fun it is and exciting it is, because we do feel that every single day when we go out into the garden. I love walking out in the morning. It's a morning time right here. It's one of the best times to be in your garden. Yeah. That or evening. Try to stay away from the
I like the evening. He likes the morning.
I do like the morning. I like having my coffee and listen to a little music or listen to the birds and just hang out in the garden. But every day is changing now. The patience part is kind of gone. Yeah. Now you just don't know what to expect every single morning or evening when you get out into the garden. So if you haven't planted one, start right now. You still have plenty of time. So many people have asked, I have time to restart this, time to restart that. We're early June. You've got plenty of time. And we're in zone 6B, which that's just more for your hardiness when it comes to whatever. Use your zip code. That's the more important thing to see just when your last frost date's going to be or your first frost date. But just throw something in the ground. I promise it'll still grow and you'll still have success even if you started gardening right now.
That's right.
All right, y'all. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so down below. There'll be plenty more videos this week of all kinds of stuff. We got to talk a little bit about animals coming soon.
All right. We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.